Welcome to the Node.js Next 10 meeting for August 21st, 2024. We'll follow our standard approach of looking at what we have on the agenda. Although we've agreed in advance that we're going to continue to go through the results of the survey and also to spend a little bit of time just looking at for the upcoming summit, collaborator summit, if there's any other submissions that we should make. So. Before we do that, any announcements people would like to share?
Maybe just quickly, because it's a topic with the funding and everything, an issue was raised by Ulysses during the last CPC meeting about creating a collaborator space for funding open source project and stuff like that. So if some viewers are interested, please feel free to comment to join and have more feedback if you are part of the project, want to support or find a way to basically support and fund open source work.
Yep. Okay, that's good. So I just noted it as that an issue's been open at the OpenJS level related to creating a sustainability collaboration space that's related to the funding discussions we've had. So
yeah, I'm finding the issue that way I can add it on a document.
Okay, thanks. That's good. Any other announcements? Okay, if not, let's go into. Let's just quickly talk about, and maybe it makes sense to create. I'll make a quick issue, which is discussions. Unless there isn't already an issue that is like proposals for the collaborator summit.
Yes, I created the proposal. So
I mean, in the next 10 issues, like, is there an issue that says, like, let's discuss topics? Okay, right.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so what I was thinking is, I'm going to create a new issue, which is in the next 10 repo, which is proposals for upcoming next 10, or not next 10, Node.js collaborate for the summit is planned for Node 7 to 8. Current include, and I'll put in the link that you have there. Should we make any other submissions? Okay, so I'm going to create that issue. This is the one I'll just put in. We can maybe put some notes into, but I'll put that here. And so, okay, so thanks for creating that proposal. That's definitely a good one for us to cover. Just trying to paste in here, paste without formatting. Okay. Number 2, 3. Okay, so the only question then to discuss, we'd agreed to discuss is, other than that, is that like, do we want to have that one which will cover everything? Or is there anything else that we should submit?
Yeah, that was one of my questions. Last meeting, we discussed to have 2 of them, one about the funding deep dive and another one for healthy, sustainable and healthy collaborator base. I didn't open the second one following Marco, just because I wasn't sure if we want to have the 2 topics in the same discussion, 2 different times for that. Because like, I'm guessing it will be a discussion that takes time, but on the other end, I don't think we'll be able to have 2 slots of 2 hours each time. And also, do we want maybe to have, on your proposal, Marco, you also added the restitution from the survey. Do we want just that as a separate 30-minute slot and we can ask, I don't know who is doing the planning, Matteo or Claudio, just to say, hey, we would like to have that first 30 minutes before every other talk. That way, everyone is aware, hey, this is a feedback that was provided by the community, and to split, if we want basically to split that as something a bit different.
So like I think the deep dive on funding is enough to use the 1 hour and a half. So I would not like have too many topics. And on the like collaborator environment, I like to make the environment healthier. I think there is some work to be done before like probably start to think about a survey on like the question for a survey and that. So I would do just the what's it called, the funding. And also would like we can even either open the summit, ask to open summit with data from the survey, and so that we briefly highlight like some of the topics that we think that are important to keep in mind for the next year. And like also like maybe this is another issue, but since we are talking about the survey, I wanted to say it. Like I would like to formalize a bit like the value of the survey itself, because so like I read a few comments that like I was like this made me think, because they say, hey, 3,000 people is not a relevant amount of like it's not a big amount user base to describe the whole Node.js user base. So like the data from this, how we should treat data from the survey, it's something that we like I don't know if you can understand. It's like, is this data representing the whole Node.js user base? Is this data actually relevant? Like, can we make decision based on this data or not? Like, this is something that I want to formalize, to say, hey, like this is like for example, like Corpac from the survey, it says that it's very popular. It's one of the most popular features. But is it the survey enough to take decisions based on it, to say, hey, this is popular because the survey says it's popular, or not? Because if not, then like what's the like we should probably rethink something.
True, because I would guess there's
so go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, that's a good point. Like, and I think we discussed that a bit last week, is for specific point, or 2 weeks ago, for specific point is maybe there is some bias toward people already being aware, because I try just at work to ask, hey, are you aware of what is Corpac and what's your feedback on that? And like 95% of people were like, oh, what is that? So just for the sake of the conversation, like I would say that most of the global Node.js user or developer they are not even aware of what is Corpac and what the feature of Corpac, why and how and stuff. So yeah, that's a good point.
I'll add a counterpoint though. Like when that blog post came out recently that was like, hey, projects talking about removing it. I had somebody from one of our internal teams, works more on the front end. It's like, what are you doing? Right? I think like, you know, and if you look at the Yarn installation instructions, they basically say use it. So I suspect that people using Yarn are going to be more likely to be aware of it than people who don't. So anyway, I think we can get into a tangent. Maybe that's what, you know, let's defer that to when we finish off on the survey, and just finish off on the proposals, and then come back to the survey part, and we can talk about that topic.
Yeah.
I think I mean, so I like, are the sessions 1.5 hours each, or are they?
So there is no
Um,
time. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I mean, like I've seen the previous one was 1 hour and a half, 2 hours. So
Okay.
like we can choose the time slot that we want. So
Okay.
it's not
I mean,
like a hard limit.
because I'm kind of thinking like I like Jean, I think was kind of suggesting that we should maybe submit three, which would be like a short one, half an hour survey results, right? Because I think that's actually interesting and that's good to have like hear the survey results and like some discussion. And again, like you said, ask for that to be near the beginning. That makes a lot of sense. There's the content in terms of the funding. Like I think we've had the discussion. We've said like that's the place to have that starting discussion because it's going to be hard to get people. The healthy collaborator base. I agree. There's maybe some work, but I wonder if we shouldn't use that as a forcing function. Like that's still 2 months away. Like, do we think we could say like, yeah, let's try and have a session and try and do that work before then? Because you
So
know, it's a
I
good
was
time to discuss those kinds of things. Go ahead.
I was going to suggest, do we want to come back to what we did 2 or 3 years ago with I don't remember, fun retro or something, just basically start the discussion, or we can even work on that before, but at least have a direct feedback from every collaborator and people that are part of the collaborator summit, say, hey, what would be for you the best, or what's missing to have a good base of people contributing, what's missing, like at least key point from the people that are part of the project already.
I mean, we could set ourselves a goal to say, let's get the survey done by end of September, run the survey,
Yeah.
and then discuss the survey results in a session, right? Like
Yeah.
that would be a reasonable,
Yep.
like, I think then we'd have a bunch of results, which would be an interesting thing. It would just mean we'd have to like prioritize, like, let's get the survey together.
Yeah. Would make sense. Would be great just because I'm thinking of that now to have the survey forwarded from, or at least by the OpenJS Foundation, and maybe even discussed during a CPC meeting.
Well, I
Could be
think
great.
no, but this survey would just be the node collaborators.
Oh, okay.
Right. I think Marco, that's what we had in mind, right? Like this is
Okay.
like a healthy around like healthy collaborator environment. So we'd want to come up with a bunch of questions, put them out to all the collaborators, and then, based on that data, that would be the starting point for the discussion.
Yeah, I mean, if we can get it done by September, I think it's doable. Like we need to like choose the questions and like and have the survey open. I don't think it needs to be open for very long time because it's just for collaborators, and then we can discuss it at the collab summit. Yeah.
Okay. So I think,
Just are you all you both going to be there?
yeah,
Okay, me too. So good.
yeah, no, that's good. So yeah, so I would say like that if we, I think what we should do is like schedule an hour for the three of us and whoever else is interested, like this week, next week, to start just building the questions, right? And like let's get together, whip out a set of questions, and then we can go from there to see like how much more we need to do to come up with the survey. And
Yep. Okay, just a bit off topic. Is there a point, or do we want to have some kind of discussion about the ambassador program thingy that we discussed a few months ago in the next 10? Or is it something that we want to discuss also in another next 10 meeting? I didn't follow that.
I think we should like our real next step on that is nominating some people. I did talk to Mateo, who had some good candidates. I need to follow up with him because like he had a couple people that he suggested, and I don't think we need like mass numbers to start, but I think really we just want to start by getting some people going on that.
Yeah.
So I'll try and follow up again with him and get those, like, we just want the nominations made. We can get some people in and then we can kind of see how it's going. Because I don't think there's too much more to talk about until we, have a few people who are in the program, right?
Yeah.
But it is good to like make sure we make like what we should talk about is making sure that happens. So if you have any like good candidates and you'd want to make a nomination, that would be a thing. But I think there hopefully are at least like two that should come in through Mateo.
Okay, so who wants to volunteer to like set up the deep dive?
So I guess it's if there's going to be three different ones, like I could see, like I know you've been thinking about the good environment one. So I don't know if you wanted to lead that one, I could lead the one on funding, and then Jean, you could lead the one on the survey. Or some mix of that, right? Like I guess, and there's probably could have a couple of us involved in each of them, right? But like, who's going to be the main person to put together the slides and whatever? That would be so. Do you have any preference? Do either of you have preferences on which one? Like, I'm happy to kind of jump in for any of them.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, that's okay. I will also with Express spend some time on the funding of Express and stuff like that, so I can also help on the funding one.
Okay, so I'll just leave like the funding. I think like the one that you submitted, Marco, I'm going to edit to remove the. Can I edit that? Yeah. I'm going to remove the survey part,
Okay.
right? Because it's got the two. Where is that? So deep dive on funding. I just. Okay, and then I will take out the TBD for MDOS and the Schleppo as the GitHub handles. And I think then, so I'm gonna edit that.
I'm guessing we can put our free handle for
Yeah,
each of.
yeah, we
And
should
then
also
basically
update the
like,
title, the session proposal title
yeah,
to deep dive on funding.
I'm gonna say, let's explore. So I'm just gonna say there, so I changed it to Node.js funding. Let's explore funding sources and models. And then I guess Jean, if you want to create a new one for the survey along, you can include that ask to be like sooner than later, right?
Just created this one is for the survey.
Okay. And then Marco, I don't know if you want to create the one for the good environment.
Yeah.
If you want, I can create it. I'm on it. No worries.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I was going to create it. I'm currently writing it if it's okay.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And then Marco, you can kind of tweak it to cover like what do you think is good. So okay, so we're gonna have three survey.
And we also need to like funding, we like probably it's like it doesn't require previous work, but for the collab like health environment, we need to like to do the survey. So we need probably like a follow-up on the issue, and like I don't know if we want to like set up a special meeting or use an extend meeting to pick the questions for the survey.
I would say let's set up a dedicated meeting for that because that works pretty well, and like probably sooner than later because really we're targeting launching that say a month from now. So 4 weeks seems like a long time, but if we do a meeting every 2 weeks, it quickly goes by. So I would say like, can we find a time early next week?
Okay.
Like,
so I will create a doodle
okay.
like by today/tomorrow, and
Okay.
like if we can fill it quickly, then we can add that to the calendar.
Sounds good. Okay. Collaborator environment, share results of survey and stuff. Okay, so that is good. I'm just going to put that then into that issue. And Jean, if you could just add in the issues for the other ones that you created,
Yep, doing that.
and we'll close that once we've got them all set up. So, okay, so that sounds good in terms of the Collaborator Summit. I think those are all really good topics and good. I can't think of any other topics top of your two minds that we should. I mean, separately, you know, from the survey, and I know you've been working, Marco, on TypeScript related stuff. That might be interesting, but like that's not necessarily a next 10 submission, but that would be interesting. Okay. So there are no others. Let's flip back to the survey. I think it worked pretty well where you shared, Marco, and then I could makes it a little easier for me to take notes.
Okay. Yeah, I added a reminder under the issue for the building a sustainable health collaborator, so I will create the doodle. Updated the session. So in terms of the survey, do we want to like take some time to do like small recap of the highlights from the survey, and so and like it helps to
I think we
write
still needed
a
to go, like we had to finish off the last few sections, right?
Yep.
I think we finished.
Did we
Let me
finish?
check.
I'm not sure we went through the last two.
I think we went really quickly because we had like 1 minute just to review that,
Right.
but we can spend a few minutes, I think, for the last two.
Yeah, I think it would be
Okay.
good to spend a few minutes, then go back to, like you said, a wrap up of like, okay, we've gone through the whole thing. What did it mean, right? So yeah, I think the last two were the write-in ones, right? Like, did you have any problems?
Okay, I will share the screen. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay. Can you all see the
Yep.
question? Okay. So let me see, where were we? I think we went very quickly through. Nope. This one, are you using? Nope. Okay, I think I remember using which are you using the following experimental features of Node.js, and I think we stopped here probably,
Right.
or
Okay,
we
that
went
makes
very
sense to me.
quickly
Yeah.
through this one. So let's see if there is the one with the numbers. Okay, yeah, we have core pack at 28%. As I said, like it surprised me that it was this popular. We also have async hooks at 32%. So I think there's always been the will to remove async hooks, but it's not possible because of the popularity of the feature. So
It's
like
like
this
we'd
is
like a different API as a stable API, but yeah, the one that surprised me on that is like that people even knew they were using it, right? Because like it's a pretty low level thing that most developers are not going to write to, right? So I'm just surprised that many people could say, yeah, I'm using that, right? But
yeah, it's a bit odd. Maybe I don't know if like people misunderstood, or like there are actually this many users. It seems weird, to be honest.
I'm not surprised that like lots of people use it because like indirectly through tracing and stuff like that, like but just that you would know you were using it was more my. But I just to mention that as an interest. I'm not sure there's much, like I can't think of anything we should action on that or anything. But
So then we have permission model. I think it's expected to have a low usage. Single executable application, 12%. This is also like not everybody releases a binary.
that one again, I'm surprised is that high, right? Like again, that's it's a specific use case where you want to ship your binary. So 10% seems like a lot of people, but definitely interesting.
Then we have startup snapshot. Again, 4%. This is very low. But
yeah, that's
it's
one of those ones
understandable.
again, very specialized, right? Like until there's like tooling, or I think like that one I could see people might use once it's like more complete, like finished, if you know what I mean. And like promoters like, hey, here's the fastest way to start your node thing, right? Like otherwise it's probably pretty small subset. So that I'm just saying, not surprised on that one.
Then we have loader hooks, 16%. This is actually a bit on the low. And I expected more since like loaders are like cool.
I would agree. I would agree with you, but I'm guessing a lot of the user base find that fancy because you can run TypeScript using a loader, and not a lot of people are building custom loader for that application. It's mostly a way, I'm guessing for a lot of people, and for the talk I gave, that, oh, you don't need TypeScript, you can load TypeScript, basically. Like, so
Yeah.
And also like loaders have been under fairly active development, right? So like I can see that it's again one of those things that once we sort of finish and like then promote it, it may get more usage. But even so, it is a specialized thing where you need loaders, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Then we have network imports, 9%, but we removed it. So goodbye network imports.
That's what I thought. Like we did remove that, didn't we? So like
Yeah.
Yeah, this is gone. Even though 9% is not bad, but
I mean,
yeah,
it's interesting. I guess we'll see how many complaints there are for it not being there anymore, right? Like how long ago did we remove it?
Was it still under experimental flag?
So it was not removed on 20, so it was removed on 22, and therefore, like, not many people know about it.
Okay, right, yep.
Okay, WASI 6%. I guess it's okay. Like WASI, it's not something. It's something very new, and like not everyone.
It's again a specialized use case, right? So yeah, not your normal microservice wouldn't necessarily use that.
Yeah. Then we have VM modules at 8%. I didn't even know this existed, so I will defer my judgment on this one.
This one I'm really surprised by, close to 9%. Like, I don't know how many people use that directly or even knowingly, but I'm surprised that almost 9% of people use that.
That's where it came back to async hooks one, right? Like again, I can see that being a lot of usage, but not. So I think comes back to Marco, your other point that we should take discuss a little bit how we use the data. Some of these I would take with a grain of salt, right? Like,
yeah,
or maybe next time we can think how we get a little bit interesting info, but like again, I don't think we should just translate that out to like 10%. 1 in 10 uses the features necessarily, right?
Yes. Watch mode, like 39.92, 40%. This is expected. Watch is very popular.
Yeah.
Expected. We have WebSocket client at 21%. This is also surprising since I think it has like it's written on the documentation that WebSocket client. I like it has been set as stable, but it's web API and like it's not the best API.
Yeah.
But it seems popular. So like like web API in general, I think they're always popular.
Right. Yeah, like something, yeah. That's why I'm thinking some of these might be like, hey, I like this one, so I'm gonna say I'm using it, if you know what I mean. Right.
Yeah, because like WebSocket, 21% means that 2%, like 20% uses WebSocket.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
And I could see like this anyway, yeah.
So but let me go back to the question. Are you using, so it's like active usage? So maybe I don't know if we should change. I don't believe that this number are like,
Yeah, they seem high as the like,
yeah,
you know, it's interesting information. I think it's like, if anything, it might be a reflection of how aware people are of different ones, but whether they're using them or not might be a different.
yes. Trace event categories. This is
Yeah.
again for debugging and diagnostic. I've used it in the past, but yeah, it's 5%. Then we have .env at 54%. This is the most popular one. Makes sense. Not surprised me. Then we have import attributes, 17%. I guess 17 is a lot. So,
Yep.
and then we have other. Let me see.
Yeah.
This question is number 20, I think. So we have nfile, apk, don't know, fs promises. That's not experimental. Glob, style text. These are not experimental anymore. I like test. Okay. No, these are stable feature. Wait, a wrong one. So experimental are experimental code coverage, frozen intrinsics, glob, dash run. I don't care. No, none, blah blah blah. Require ESM, source maps, test coverage. Don't care, and that's it. So, like test coverage seems also something that we skipped from the list. So, like in this, from this one, I think .env and watch were expected, and there are like a few ones that are unexpected, like
Yeah, that they're as
asynchronous.
high as they are, but it's interesting that like none of them were zero. So that's, and you're right, for next year, like I wonder if we asked you to write in the ones you were using, how many, like what we would have gotten, right? Because that's a higher bar. You have to actually think of it rather than.
Yeah.
Do you
But
want to ask directly, are you using those features in production?
yeah, that would probably like during development or production would be like more specific. Like I don't expect because like yeah, probably people are using this in production. Would be interesting to see.
Yeah, even like a separate question, which of these are you using in production versus. Because that might make people think a little bit more and like, okay, well, yeah, I've mentioned all these ones, but now what am I actually using in production? Would be that might be an interesting way to do it.
Yeah, we should probably add this little note. So yeah, even though some of them are like, I don't think you're using -- watch in production. So it's more for development. But okay, so shall we move to the next one?
Yeah.
Q20. So are you using the following new stable features? Let's see, we have test runner 29% expected. I think people are starting to use it. I think that we did not update some of these ones because web crypto is fairly like it is it from Node 18. I think it has become stable. Same for the web streams. Fetch was, don't remember if it's 18 or 20. But yeah, Fetch seems to be at 87%. Like everybody uses Fetch. I think we should, like for next year, we should update the list of new
definitely,
stable features, because this one is. Let's see other. We have -- and file, which is experimental. Don't know. I like test. No. Node run is experimental. Nothing interesting.
Yeah, I would say like next time we should do it so it's just the ones that were promoted in the last year.
Yes.
Because that's kind of like the, what it would be for newly experimental.
Yep. Okay. So the last one is Q21. Do you encounter any recurring issue when using Node that you would like to share? So I will share the other thing. It should be this one. Yeah, this is big. So can I put it full screen? No. Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. So lots of stuff here. Assert API is missing some features. So this one is Assert API. We have kill CJS. Blah blah blah. This go on a full rant. Let's see. Put some love into TS node, as if TS node was maintained by Node.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like what we want to do is pull out, are there any recurring things there, right? That are mentioned by a bunch of people. Individual ones are still interesting, but like.
Yeah, we have CJS. Let's see. CJS still exists. My native TypeScript, my dream, blah, blah, blah. Come through. Doc, I think Doc is important because right now they not the best. -- loader is about to be removed. Let's see. I think a lot of pain is in ESM CJS. I have this feeling. .NOD modules, that's because it's breaking change, I think. This is all about NPM. So TypeScript, and node more APK. We have async tracing.
I liked the last three of the first column. Built-in support for TypeScript, but mostly normal fetch from box and installed node mon and TS node.
So yeah, I think in terms of features and fixing pain points, we're going to the right direction. Like the project is moving like in the right direction. APM instrumentation. This is like all the problems with tracing and what is called monitoring. So that's something I remember from other questions too, that monitoring is like something that Node is a bit lackluster in terms of diagnostic. So I think tracing and diagnostic, backwards compatibility, better tools to find diagnostic. Go ahead.
Okay, so
Yeah, so I have interesting nearly last one is built-in ESLint and prettier. I don't understand why people say that. Why we should have something like ESLint inside the runtime.
Because other runtimes have it, and I wanted to,
It's a
but
little bit dumb, but okay.
I don't see it recurring here. So yeah, bundling, it says bundling, but I don't see something. Let's see if it's a recurring. So we have C8 node is broken, C8 is coverage. Okay, callback file in 2024. TypeScript, CJS, ESM, CJS, ESM, CLI. This is argument. This is about the API for the CLI. What is parsarg? I think. ESM, CJS, Corpac. Okay, I love Node.js. Nice. Again, ESLint prettier, diagnostic and monitoring. Debugger, diagnostic. Dependencies, okay. This is ESM, CJS, diagnostic. Logs, diagnostic.
just where you are, just below. Don't know yet, but I think I will have issues. 2 lines below.
Error handling. Error handling for promises, so diagnostic and like debugging tools. Error messages. ESM, CJS, again, ESM, CJS. ESM, CJS, TypeScript. ESM, CJS, ESM, CJS. Code coverage. This is about source maps, which have been fixed. This has been fixed. Documentation. Okay, fetch.
Is annoying in Node.js. So like this one, fetch is annoying in Node.js. I never encounter an issue on my side. Is it something that you are aware of or something, or is just?
It breaks frequently on because it's a like big API, but I didn't know. Like I don't think it's something recurring. For now, the two biggest topic are CJS, ESM, and diagnostic.
Yep.
The thing that we like definitely highlight. CPU. Let's see. Monitoring, logging. Logging is interesting because I think that has been repeated. TypeScript that has been solved. TypeScript has been solved. Also about native add-ons. I think there are some pain. There is some pain for native add-ons. Type def is not Node.js thing, TypeScript, blah blah blah, TypeScript, Corpac, TypeScript, npm, memory leaks, so diagnostic. Okay. Blah blah blah. ESM, npm. How many more pages? Okay, this is
Yeah,
gonna
at
be.
least 20 page.
Oh shit.
So
Yeah, I don't
mean,
think
you
we
can sort
should.
of
We
like
should.
scan through
Yeah.
quickly. I mean, I've taken the few notes that I'm going to.
Can we rely on like ChatGPT or something if we dump everything and hey, what are the most common
Yeah.
That would be a
complaints
good
and
sniff test, although I think like scanning through, we can see that like some of the common things
yes,
include,
yes, TypeScript.
yeah, like here I've got, sorry, in the minutes, what I took down so far from like scanning through in this, our discussion is like ESM CJS is clearly something that people mention often.
yes.
Docs still mentioned enough. Monitoring diagnostics, you mentioned a few times. TypeScript was the other one.
Yes.
And I think the
TypeScript,
question, what else?
performance, I think I see like
Yeah.
slow. We have slow.
Okay, so performance.
So
Let me see performance.
this one, I think, for performance and everyone seems every time be attached to Node.js is slower than Bun or Dino.
Yeah.
So I'm not
Performance.
sure it's a true performance issue because I don't know if it was tested with the same capability, security, hardening, and everything. But seems
Yeah,
like
but like in terms, I think we should take it not as like, hey, you should make it faster, but you should make easier to like check when it's slower and why it's slower in terms of diagnostic and monitoring. So this,
no, the diagnostic, yes.
yeah, the like I don't think we should like because a lot of people write ban, Dino, and
Yep.
that's okay. But like
And there is this topic of package manager. I know we don't want to rebuild our own npm/package manager or stuff. But is it something that we would like to share with the npm team or something?
That one, yeah. So like in the survey results, if we search on package manager.
like I think number one is CJS CSM. Like that's the
Right. Yeah.
that's
That's right.
definitely the big one. Second one is diagnostic.
Yeah.
You think diagnostics or TypeScript?
I don't know, like TypeScript, like probably we should like since the release of type stripping probably alleviated some of that pain, but yeah, that was also
Yeah,
one of
I
the
think
main
like
pain
that's a
points.
good step, but I have a feeling we should, if we had enough people interested, and I think you've already started like to set up a working group, like that sort of whole topic of like making it easier and having an, I don't know. I think you've got that underway, but I wouldn't limit it just to the TypeScripting part necessarily, right? Like whatever that working group figures out, this kind of supports that, like that's an area lots of people are interested in.
Yes.
Yeah.
So TypeScript is definitely something. Like package management, I think it's also one of the points we should keep in mind.
Yeah, is that mentioned often in there? I mean, I'm not disagreeing, just wondering if that actually was in the survey. Like maybe that's not in, yeah, but overall, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I see. I see one direct hit on package management. But there's probably different words.
Yeah, I was reading the comment that you highlight, Marco. This one is interesting one. they want to be able to run updating Node.js, still supporting 10 years old dependency.
Yeah, I mean, like there is a lot of ranting, like people writing whatever. We have 4 minutes left, so I
Yep.
think we should wrap up. I will go through this offline, and like if I see something to highlight, I will add it to the issue. But I think we have a feeling of what I see a lot of TypeScript.
Yeah.
I think we have a feeling of what we should work on to improve.
We've got, like I put in the minutes, ESM, CGS, TypeScript, docs, monitoring, diagnostics, and performance was in that order.
Yes.
So yeah, if anybody, if you read through it and see some other things, put them on. And I guess since we're out of time, I'd suggest next meeting, we then figure out our next actions based on the survey data. We can do that recap of like, okay, we've looked at the whole thing. What is it that we need to do? Or are we already doing some of that? Like there's already a TypeScript things ramping up. So that's interesting. And any of the other docs, I know there's also an effort. So maybe we're covering some of the key things there, but.
Yeah, I agree. I think next step is to like wrap up and like write some, like figure out what are the highlights.
Yeah.
The key things that we got from this survey, and I will proceed on writing some like a small blog post so we can like say, hey, like at least people would feel listened because hey, we went through the whole survey and these are the highlights, and the project knows what.
Yeah, definitely want to do that.
Okay.
Okay. In which case maybe we'll give a couple minutes before the next meeting and close it.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'll talk to everybody later then. Thanks.
Have a good day.